Hello, my name is Malcolm McLean, the founder of Ultra Lite, and giving myself the first opportunity to express my passion for this program. We've been around for 22 years. We've helped over 550,000 people over that period of time. We've operated both here in Australia, New Zealand, and America. We've fought the good fight of getting the education of a good keto program into the market. We mainly work through practitioners, people that we've trained and that have a passion to help others. So tonight I'm going to present to you my idea of understanding the Ultra Lite program. The Ultra Lite program was developed with a colleague of mine back in 1999. We developed it because we recognized that the diets that were being promoted were not working. The research of our original study came from the 1920s when we looked at the protein-sparing modified fast research. That was a diet of choice right up until the 60s when a guy by the name of Ancel Keys figured out that working for the multinational food companies, that fat might be dangerous and cause heart disease. As a result, he took or suggested that fat be eliminated from the diet. How wrong he was. And so we recognize that there is a need for a diet which is moderate protein, complex carbs. And so we commenced our journey. Originally, we used to have webinars, not webinars, that was way before that. We used to meet with people, mainly naturopaths and practitioners that we had shown an interest, and we would present our program. It was very clumsy back then. We used to use photocopied manuals and what have you. But today we can proudly say that we've come to a much more user-friendly program. Oh, it's not working. Okay, so the ketogenic diet that we've established is based on allowing the body to burn ketones, to create ketones. Sorry, I've just got to get back. I'm having problems with this, Katie. I need to. The second slide?
Yep.
Is that it? Okay. Yeah. So following a keto diet is about allowing the liver to produce ketones as an alternative form of energy. Unfortunately, the high level of carbohydrates that we're being involved in over the last 30 years has allowed us to rely on glucose and insulin as a form of energy. And that's been very damaging. It causes us diabetes type 2, metabolic syndrome. It leads to problems with our gut, inflammation. Whereas with the keto diet, by introducing fat, it's much more satiable. It's much more, has the ability to curb appetite. When we're on a sugar diet or we're relying on the high carb levels, because we're hooked on that sort of thing, we tend to always be hungry and always peckish. The beautiful thing about the ketogenic diet is you're fully sustained. As I said in the beginning, you can fast a meal a day or 2 meals a day sometimes and not feel hungry, because the protein that we recommend is much more sustainable. And because the ketones are giving you energy, they're ketones being a very inefficient form of energy, it helps you to mobilize fat, provided you drink plenty of water. What is a ketogenic diet? Well, a ketogenic diet is when the body is naturally producing ketones. It relies on the liver to do that. Unfortunately, there's a lot of companies now getting on the bandwagon and trying to induce you to take exogenous ketones. Unfortunately, that does not help long term. It means that you can, or they make out you can eat anything you want and just rely on exogenous ketones to produce the ketones. The body, if it is induced and naturally following a ketogenic diet, is sustainable long term. It means that the body will break down stored fat. As I said before, because ketones are a very inefficient form of energy, they tend to focus on allowing the liver to burn fat. Whereas if it's relying on a high carb diet, high fructose level, if you go to the juice bar and have lots of apples in a drink, you're having straight sugar. That turns straight to fat. We don't burn that amount of energy normally, not like the old days when young kids, in trolleys and running around all the time. Instead, they sit at home on their computers or their mobile phone devices, and they don't end up burning the fat that is deposited in their bodies by this diet. Unlike other keto diets, that focus mainly on fat. We're not a high fat diet. We're not carnivores. Our diet is mainly relying on teaching people high fat and low carb as a diet. Ultra Lite is designed to provide all the necessary vitamins, minerals, and amino acids and trace elements and essential fatty acids to bring optimum health. When you are sugar crazed or you're relying on the center aisles of the supermarket, you never get yourself into that state of comfort. Our program has been designed to use no processed foods. We tend to get people to shop around the outside of the supermarket. That includes non-starchy vegetables, some fruits, lean, grass-fed, unprocessed meats are also included in the program. But the main thing is it's a healthy way of eating, and it makes you feel satiated, comfortable. It connects, it allows the body and the brain to connect so that you're feeling much more at ease mentally, which is really important. The benefits of the Ultra Lite program is you do burn fat at a rapid rate. You can lose up to 10 kilos in 5 weeks, and that's very motivational. At the time we started the diet, it was interesting because the pyramid that was being promoted prior to the 1999 had all dairy and meat at the top of the pyramid, and it didn't have the balance that we now enjoy. Whereas now you see the ketogenic diet, the pyramid that we promote, has the fats at the bottom, the non-starchy low GI vegetables, middle, starchy vegetables in moderation, and then allows you to have the benefits of full cream milk and some berries and some nuts. So it's very, very sound diet. It's been thoroughly researched. Unfortunately, there are other ways of losing weight that have been around a long time. I tend to think that, when you're relying on prepackaged meals, Jenny Craig, Weight Watchers, light and easy, you lose the opportunity to understand the benefits of making better food choices when you're shopping. Unfortunately, especially with, say, Weight Watchers, they lead you to the center aisles of the supermarket where you are forced to read the packet to see what's in it. It doesn't focus on whole food, and that's one of the problems. Food preparation is often questionable. It's either frozen or cryopacked. And the benefit of having our program is that we teach you how to cook. You can pre-prepare meals, you know what you're putting into them. often when fats are removed from products, if you're following a low-fat routine, they use flavor enhancements from another substance, usually sugar and salt. The crazy thing is there's only 3 ways you can lose, flavor food: salt, sugar, and fat, besides herbs and spices. You take out the fat, you're not going to load it with salt. So you tend to load it with sugar, and we get hooked on sugar. Over the years, we've introduced babies to Ribena and sweet drinks. And I remember many years ago, we used to have soft drinks delivered to the house in large bottles and crates. And unfortunately, we've all suffered from that. So it's a matter of correcting the nutritional diet for people, letting them understand. I've always said, if you teach mothers correct principles, it flows down the whole family. Of course, there's always the meal replacements. I have a problem with meal replacements. You don't learn anything. You look at the product as the solution. Low energy shakes. For instance, we were blessed with molars and long entrails. You're supposed to eat food. Saliva being drawn by putting food in your mouth is the first part of mastication. That's certainly denied when you rely on meal replacements. One of the problems with meal replacements, if you're relying on 2 meals a day of meal replacements and say some rabbit food at night, you will lose weight. But I call it wasting, muscle wasting, body wasting. The mitochondria, the powerhouse of the cell, has a memory in it, and you need to nourish it. You've got to protect it. You don't do that with meal replacements, because the body adjusts to 2 meals a day of shakes and a bit of rabbit food at night. And then eventually people want to eat. They want to eat good food, and the body is compromised. It takes a long time to readjust back to eating, and you tend to put the weight back on. So I tend to discourage people having meal replacements. Sure, if you're not able to chew and masticate, then you can sustain yourself on meal replacements. That's mainly for people that are geriatrics or people, it's not a lifestyle program. Of course, there's the pharmacy opportunity. Now, I've never really gone down this road, but I remember years ago in around about 2003, when we were opening up America, I was watching on a cable channel, and there was a lady who had bariatric surgery and telling her story, and she was still grazing on Mars bars. She'd learned nothing about diet and maintaining health. And there was another guy that was morbidly overweight. He'd been using Xenical as his main source, and he had a leaky bowel. And so, you know, I just get frustrated when I see that people are falling into the trap of relying on these other interactions or these other things at the pharmacy. And to be honest with you, it really takes an effort to understand the benefits, and you must have a compelling reason. If you want to reclaim your health, you've got to look at food as a nutritional source and not rely on medication. This is the exciting part. Ultralight has come a long way. We have a beautiful website. Currently, we're building a new website that will have a portal for our practitioners to interact with their clients, and the clients can interact with their practitioners. We have recipes online, soon to have an app to be able to support that. They have shopping lists. They can design and change their recipes and make sure the right carbs and proteins are included, so they can feel comfortable. If they don't like a certain ingredient or whatever, they can change it. All our recipes have been developed, are family friendly. They taste great. None of them that we put on the website have not been used or developed or tried and proven. They're all proven to be very successful. We get a lot of comments. There's literally hundreds of recipes that you can download, and there'll be more all the time. And we're always interested in people coming up with their own recipes so we can share with others. So what are the benefits of being on an ultralight ketogenic diet? Well, number one is removing abdominal fat. This is one of the biggest issues. We find that men lose fat faster than women, and that's obvious reasons, because men carry their fat inside their perineal sheath, the sheath that holds all their organs together. And you can tell that by their big fat bellies. Women, on the other hand, tend to have it in the bust and the hips. And that takes a little longer to move, but it's the benefit of being in a ketogenic diet is that you do burn fat 24 hours a day. You're not relying on a denial type diet, and you can rest assured that by being in ketosis, your body is doing its job. Another benefit, of course, is you can reverse type 2 diabetes. It does reduce the blood sugar levels. There's so many other benefits. It gives you mental clarity, more energy, reduced cravings, lowers blood pressure. It fights some cancers. It's great for helping support people with Alzheimer's. You have better sleep, and it certainly helps you to reduce inflammation. So the clean keto diet that we've introduced basically is there to ensure that you get into nutritional ketosis, not ketoacidosis, but you balance yourself. So it's quite happy to support the organs. We give you little protein sachets that you have to curb your appetite between meals. And we make sure you have sufficient protein so that you feel comfortable. By having protein in your diet, you're less likely to crave, and it has all the fatty acids that are important. One of the things I've learned in my studies is that when you're fighting insulin resistance or diabetes type 2, protein is really important to have in your diet because it's essential as a catalyst to help you pass insulin across the cellular membrane into the bloodstream. As a result, we find that the chief reason that we go into the ketogenic diet is to ensure that we have better health. It has been proven that statistics, low-carb diets have resulted in greater fat loss than any other diet. One of the chief reasons is that the low-carb diet tend to get rid of edema and swelling. So if people have the water retention or swelling in their body, they'll find that the ketogenic diet is able to lower insulin levels and the kidneys start getting rid of excess sodium, resulting in weight loss. There's so many benefits that have proven so successful over the years. In fact, many of our clients come back to their practitioners or to us directly and say, it's the only diet that's ever worked. So that's one of the great benefits. I don't know any other diet in the world that has so many byproducts and so many benefits as a ketogenic diet. Visceral fat around the abdomen causes harm to the body. It leads to inflammation, insulin resistance, and is the leading cause of disease nowadays. 35% of Australian adults have metabolic syndrome. This is higher in people with diabetes. Low carb diets are particularly effective in reducing the fat, which is harmful to you. And of course, they reduce disease and diabetes. And, you know, diabetes is a time bomb. And especially today's world, if people don't address this, they're going to find that they're going to have premature death. One of the things that helps with gout, and it helps with so many other inflammation diseases. One of the things that is very important too to understand is that it increases good cholesterol. High density lipoprotein, or HDL, is called good cholesterol, whereas LDL are lipoproteins that carry cholesterol around the blood. LDL LDL carries cholesterol from the liver to the rest of the body, whereas HDL takes it away and carries it away from the body and the liver. So by reducing the bad cholesterol, or LDL, ultralight plays a big part. The ketogenic diet plays a big part. The other thing that we can count on is simple sugars like fructose tend to spike triglyceride levels even more, ensuring a balanced intake of omega-3 and through clean keto diet can help to balance triglycerides by consuming balance of healthy low carb food, some quality fiber, and HDL is effectively excreted from the body through the liver and gut and not recirculated. And so it's a detoxing diet. So in other words, you're not only getting all the benefits of burning fat, reducing inflammation, but you're detoxing the body naturally. And that's a huge bonus. No other diets do that. You know, chasing calories is slow. It's a denial. It means you have to mentally say, I can't have this, I can have that. Whereas once you follow the simple ketogenic program that we produce and get you on, you naturally don't crave sugar. You can walk past the chocolate aisle and say, I know what it does to my gut. In fact, you're actually developing a savory taste and you're doing it naturally. Reduction in blood sugar is possible, is greatly reduced. And it's important to understand that, you know, by following a ketogenic diet, it's just a natural way of getting off sugar. To suddenly go cold turkey and say, I can't have sugar, is near impossible. But when you have a cause, you've got a compelling reason to lose weight, then it's easy to use the ketogenic diet because you've got a goal. And naturally, you'll start to reduce sugar intake because you don't need it. You feel totally satiated, you feel complete, you feel calm, you've got mental clarity, and you have energy you didn't have. We all know if you have a lot of sugar, you might have a high for a short moment, but you have a big downer. When you follow a ketogenic diet, you actually feel motivated, you feel complete. Other things that benefit from a ketogenic diet is by minimizing sugar and carbs, it can help fight some cancer. We know that cancer thrives on sugar, but it is not possible for cancer cells to metabolically to shift fat. So that basically you need to be in ketosis. I mean, fat and inflammation and sugar are precursors to cancer. So the idea is to try and get your diet right so that you can fight any cancer. I used to be 120 kilos before I started the ketogenic diet. I'm sitting around 79 now. I've kept it off for many years, and I feel a heck of a lot better than carrying all that weight. It was embarrassing when we started in America. I was the before shot and my business partner was the after shot. And after a while, it got so embarrassing. I said, I have to follow the diet. And I did. And I'm grateful that I did. Another thing that we've found is that the best diet to help people who suffer from Alzheimer's is following a low carb diet. It even helps to prevent the degenerative disease. The ability to burn fat for energy, to utilize fatty acids, is important for the brain. Ketones are literally brain food. Something also I've read is that ketones are great for the muscle around the heart. So if you know anyone that's suffering from Alzheimer's or suffering from dementia, get them to follow a ketogenic diet. There's so many entry points to introduce the ketogenic diet. It's not just burning fat. It's just a great way to live. So in conclusion, all diets have pros and cons, but I believe in my heart of hearts for the 22 years that the approach that we take with the clean keto diet will bring a far better result than any other diet on the planet. Once you reach your goal, we have a program for people to follow after they've reached their goal weight to ensure they maintain their weight loss. So I know this was my first attempt and I hope you got something out of it, but I really am grateful that I was given the opportunity to share my passion with this diet. If you have questions, we'll give you the opportunity shortly. So thank you.
Thanks. We're actually going to just show a video of one of our practitioners first.
Christos Miliankos. I'm a naturopath from Wangaratta in Victoria, northeast Victoria. I've been a naturopath for about 22 years and I love it. And I've got quite a big clinic. I work with another naturopath as well. We're both Ultra Lite practitioners. So on the program, what I've found is it's a really good way to maintain. So, you know, as I'm sure some of you know, that it's weight can come on and off quite easily, and but it's maintaining is the key. And for myself, I've lost about 25 kilos myself, and the way I maintain is with the Ultra Lite program. So I sort of do it probably about 2 weeks every 4 months or so, and that really helps to maintain my weight. Well, having said that, like, I mean, depending on what people are seeing me for, whether it's menstrual issues or thyroid issues or anything, like having too much weight exacerbates all of those symptoms. So by doing the weight loss program, it helps all of those symptoms. So I don't really have a particular clientele that it helps more than others. I think losing the weight helps, inflammatory markers, it helps lots of things for all my clients. So usually people come to see me for Ultra Lite, or they come to see me for as a naturopath, and I'll suggest Ultra Lite because of their because I think it will help their health. Well, the best way to market, I feel, is through referrals. And I've been my Ultra Lite life, I guess, as a clinician, has been really good for those 20 years. But in the last 2 years, I've actually moved clinics where I'm with 3 chiropractors and an osteopath, and I just find there's so much more people coming through the clinic. And my receptionist, for example, has done the program, and other people have done the program, and they talk about it, and people talk about it, and then that just grows. So the resources are great. I use the program. I normally do a 5-week program. I used to run 10-week programs, but I normally do 5-week programs, and then we build up to 10 weeks if they need to. Most people have a significant amount of weight to lose, usually do it for about 20 weeks, to be honest. But they just could replenish the 5-week program, and then they usually by then want to have a little break, and then they maintain. So I teach them how to maintain. But using the manual is great. So there's really good recipes. I mean, when I found with the manual, there's lots more recipes online. People can become a member of Ultra Lite. There's blogs. It's just great. Sure. So to explain the program, I take half an hour, and in that time I weigh them and measure them, and we explain the program. And when they come back each week, it's 15 minutes. So in that 15 minutes, we weigh them and we measure them, and we talk about any particular issues that they've had. We look at their sheet that they filled in, and I'll also do a bioimpedance analysis. So I do that each time because I find that people love to take away something that tells them how much fat they've lost, how much water they've lost, how much muscle they've put on possibly or lost. I mean, there's been lots of great success, and I've got a few clients at the moment who've lost, like upwards of 30 kilos. But there's this one guy at the moment who's 21, and being 21, you're very susceptible to what people think. You're very susceptible to your own self-image, and he's lost just over 30 kilos, and it's literally changed his life. Like literally, his life will be completely different now than it was about 3 or 4 months ago because of that weight loss. Like he feels good about himself. He's starting to wear different clothes. He's just walking differently. So I just really love, sort of treating people or helping people that lose a significant amount of weight that will really have a completely different life. There's another guy who he walked into my clinic, and I just thought in my head, there's no way you're going to do this program. He walked with with a moon boot and crutches and things, and he had about 12 beers a day. And that was, he loves beer. And I just thought to myself, there's no way you're going to do this. But he lost 35 kilos. and he's gone back to having beer. He comes in every single 6 weeks to have a checkup, and he's not putting on weight. He's gone back to having beer, maybe not that much, but he's just maintaining awesomely. And for him, like he rides now, he swims, he's just feeling great. Yeah, used other sort of ketogenic programs that some other companies have. That what I found is that the ultralight is really it's really easy to use. It's really user friendly because of the manual. So it's really easy to follow and maintain. Whereas some of the other programs, they say, oh, have one snack, and the snacks could be da 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 da, or have a handful of protein and 3 handfuls of vegetables, and then in between have either some of this powder or some of that powder, and that's okay. But I've just found that the ultralight is just really easy to stick to. Yeah, it's just easy to follow. Sure, I recommend it for really any practitioners, whether you're a chiropractor or a bone therapist or a naturopath. I think it's really great, being a naturopath. And I recommend it because it really helps to build your clinic. Like professionally and in a monetary sense, it's awesome for the clinic, but also it really helps for your clients to be better. Like, whether you're a manual therapist or so and so, like having your clients lose weight will help them, will help your adjustments, you will help your, whatever you do with them. But also it will help your clinic grow, because, in the end, you can't really run a clinic unless you make money. So it's been a really good way to actually increase income.
Fantastic. All right. Hi, Sarah. How's it going?
Caitlin, how are you?
Good. Thank you for your patience.
No, thank you for letting me come on.
No, that's all right. All good. So yeah, did you want to just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your background as a practitioner?
Yeah, so my name's Sarah Watts. I've got a clinic in Mildura, so northwest Victoria, as far as you can go while staying in the state. I'm a nutritionist, a certified keto coach, and obviously an ultralight practitioner. Yeah.
That's great. And how long have you been doing the ultralight program for in your clinic?
I think it's about 18 months, maybe 2 years.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I've really loved seeing your journey over the last little while and seeing how much growth you've had, which has been awesome.
So exciting.
Yeah, if you wanted to just tell me maybe just a little bit about some of the benefits you've seen for your clinic and building a business of having the program as part of it.
Oh, look, it's been amazing. A lot of my clients come in, saying, oh, I just want to lose weight and things. And they get that. But on top of that, the first thing they notice is, they're getting rid of all their tummy bloating. They're getting rid of, flatulence really quickly. Biggest thing that they notice. But sleeping better, more energy, not feeling hungry. It's been amazing for my business, because I find with most of my clients within a week, their co-workers and saying, are you doing something? What are you doing? And so instantly they start talking about it.
That's awesome to hear. And I mean, I guess being in such a small town, well, I call it small being from Melbourne, but Mildura, yeah. I'm assuming you would have a lot of people with chronic health issues up there as well.
We do. Yeah. Unfortunately, we have one of the highest rates in Victoria of obesity and soft drink consumption.
Wow. So you're definitely in the right market then.
Oh, yes. Yes, there is definite need for it here.
Yeah, awesome. And have you found that having the program has kind of helped build your business financially as well, and getting those clientele base up?
Oh, absolutely. Look, the moment people start the program, like I said, within a week, other people are noticing, and the moment they start talking about it, and then 2 weeks later, when they're physically seeing people lose weight, they're like, what are you doing? Get me the number. I want to do it. Referrals has been the biggest booster. People just, yeah. And because it is instant results, people are.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, it's not like something where they have to visibly see
Oh,
how small they are after a few weeks, you know, how much centimeters they're losing as well.
yeah, absolutely. But it's not just that, it's that kind of glow that they get in their skin. Like their skin looks better, they look healthier and happier. And people do, they just instantly go, what are you doing? I've got to get on this.
That's so awesome to hear. Is there like one client in particular that you could think of that you've seen like it's changed their life completely? You know?
Oh, I've actually got two because they're very different. I've got one client, she's an older, probably going into her 40s, has a lot of excess weight. But the big turning point for her was she went to a doctor and a doctor said, you need to change your blood pressure. Otherwise, we're putting you on medication. And it was the last thing she wanted to do. So she finally reached out to me and said, I need to change this. And I said, right, we need to get you on this diet. She did it within 6 weeks. She had gone from being really high in her blood pressure and needing to go on medication to it being normal. And it was all done just with the diet. She didn't change anything else. I mean, she obviously got a lot of weight loss and everything, but to her, that's the bonus. For her, it was the avoidance of prescription medications.
Yeah.
And she's absolutely, loved it. But my other one was actually an older gentleman. He's in his late 50s. He's a builder and has chronic arthritis in his back. So he's permanently on pain medication. Within 4 weeks, because the ketogenic is so anti-inflammatory, within 4 weeks, he actually went off his pain meds. And he felt amazing. He was doing things he never thought he was going to be able to do. And it was, purely through following the diet.
That is incredible.
Yes.
That's an extra added bonus is pain management as well, because it is a very common issue with chronic health issues, obviously.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, that's so great to hear those stories. Did you want to tell me a little bit about, I guess, you know, how you found the resources available, you know, people having the manual and the meal plans and finding that helpful just to keep them on track?
Oh, look, it's a complete package. I mean, I know a lot of people and I've had clients who have tried a ketogenic diet in the past and they have struggled because they had to, you know, calculate macros and everything else and didn't fully understand, you know, they were thinking, you know, it was 70% fat instead of, you know, the calories, you know, kind of thing. But with this program, it is so simple to follow. You know, I sit down with the client, I go through it, we go through the recording sheets and they kind of initially go, wow, it's a lot to take in, but then they just go back, read the manual and they're off and racing. They don't, you know, can't believe how easy the program actually is to follow because it's all worked out. They don't have to sit there and calculate and everything else. As long as they've got a set of scales, they are happy.
Oh, that is awesome to hear. Yeah, I find there is quite challenging when some people get into the space of eating keto and there's so much different information out there. I think a lot of people just get overwhelmed and confused and they're not sure where to look.
I know. And like pouring like butter and putting butter in coffee and it's just like, no. No need, please.
No, you definitely don't need to do that.
No.
Oh, awesome. I guess you've talked a lot about how referrals have really helped you. Has there been anything else that you found really beneficial for growing your business with the Ultra Lite program?
Look, yeah, referrals are definitely your key. But also using the other thing I find, the other two things that I tend to use is the before and after photos. That is a real big draw card because people look at it and go, oh my God, you know, that's 5 weeks. That's amazing. But the other thing too is actually showcasing the recipes, like the pictures of the meals. Because I mean, that's the one thing that a lot of my clients just can't believe is how good the food tastes. And I think just about every single one of my clients, their go-to meal is the Mexican beef.
Yeah.
Chili mince, I should say. The chili mince.
The chili mince, yeah. It's so easy to meal prep that one ahead. I love that one.
Yeah.
Great. Well, look, it's great to hear that because I've taken a lot of those photos. So I'm glad they're enjoying looking at all the recipes as well. Yeah, I think a lot of people, when they do a diet program, they just get really disappointed because they think, oh, you know, I'm going to eat like really disgusting, like, you know, tasteless food for the next however many weeks. And, you know, we're really trying to promote the idea that this program is something that you can do long term, and you're still able to eat really delicious meals. They're just a lot lower in carb than what you're used to, and, you know, swapping out things with cauliflower a lot of the time as well.
Yeah, but the other thing too, that what my clients also really enjoy is the fact that the food is good for the whole family. Like, it's not just for them. So they're not having to cook, you know, multiple different meals and, you know, one for them and then for the rest of the family. They're actually finding that they can just cook the same thing for everybody and they all really like it.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I guess that's one of the reasons why I've made sure with the meal plan on the website, and what we're upgrading is, you know, creating more family meal plans as well. And obviously allowing meals that can be increased in serving sizes, because, you know, as a mother myself, I know, you know, you don't want to just be having to cook a separate meal for yourself while you're doing something, and you want to introduce that food to the kids too. So, you know, allowing them to go, hey, healthy food actually tastes good too, you know?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Like, yeah, most of my clients they're just blown away by just how tasty the food is, and the fact that there's no shakes. Like, they're actually just having real food. Get it from the supermarket. It's really easy, and like the recipes are just so quick to make.
Yeah, definitely. That's awesome. That's so good to hear that feedback. I guess, you know, you've been following on with the clients. What would you say is your normal breakdown with meeting with them? Are you doing weekly? Is it how long do you normally spend with them each week usually?
Okay, so yeah, I do catch-ups every week. I'm a bit of a waffler, so look, generally my initial one's about 45 minutes, only because I just like to get in the conversation. And my follow-ups are generally about 30 minutes because I like to go into a little bit more detail, but that's just me personally. I could do it all in 15, but yeah, I talk.
That's okay. I think it's helpful to have that connection. That's why we love that, you know, this is a very much a practitioner-based program, in the sense of how we want them to feel like they're talking to another person or getting that information directly from another person, not just, you know, looking at a website and trying to figure it out for themselves, you know, whether that's, you know, through online or face to face. You know, we want to make sure that they're getting that ongoing support, or they feel like you can reach out to someone whenever they need that help, because, you know, it is a big journey for a lot of people. There's a lot of changes they have to make that, you know, they're not sure about, and sticking to that can be difficult when you don't have someone to refer to when you need that help as well.
I think too, because I do spend that little bit extra time, is why I've ended up with so many more referrals, because I've made that personal connection and they do feel a lot more accountable to me.
Yeah, exactly. And it's, you know, it is building that relationship with them. Obviously for you want to be able to market it and make back your money, but at the same time, you want to have a long-term relationship with that client, because, you know, that's the great thing about the program. And it is something that people can, you know, they'll lose the weight, they may rebound in the future, but they want to maintain it. And that's where you can kind of step in and do that.
I've had quite a few clients that they've got to their goal weight, and then, you know, a few months down the track, they've gone, oh, I just need a little tweak, and they'll come back. And, you know, they're really happy to do that.
Oh, that is so awesome to hear. Final question. I just wanted to ask, you know, given your experience with the program over the last 18 months and where the business is at now and what support you've been provided, would you recommend this program and, you know, other practitioners getting trained as ultralight practitioners as well?
Oh, absolutely. This has been an absolute game changer for me, you know, because of the package in itself, how simple it is, how easy it is, you know, and it's very easy for clients to follow. I recently got awarded the Quality Business Award. And I've just been taken on at one of the major gyms as their nutritionist to help through this program, to help their clients as well. So it's opened up doors I didn't think were going to be available. But no, it's just been brilliant. It's grown my business immensely. It's got my name out there. Lots of referrals. I would definitely recommend it.
That's amazing to hear. Yeah. When you told me that news today about getting picked up by that local gym, I was like, wow, that is so awesome. It's such a big win for you to be able to have that, because it just opens doors up to a whole new client base, you know?
Oh, absolutely. It's, yeah, going to be a big game changer.
Oh.
But I have to say, it was all because I did the Ultra Lite program.
Oh.
But it's really got my name out there.
That's so awesome to hear. Well, look, it sounds like it has been something that has really changed, you know, how you work as a nutritionist in Mildura and supporting the kind of clients that you support, which is awesome to hear. You know, we definitely need practitioners in some of the smaller towns where a lot of those chronic health issues are a lot worse as well. So that's awesome. It's just been really, really great to see your success and how well you've been doing. So thank you. And thank you for coming on tonight and sharing your story as well. No worries. Awesome. All right. Well, I think we might finish up with that. Thank you for those people that were able to join and for those who are able to come on and watch this at a later date. We will be following up with some emails with some more information, just to, you know, talk about what the benefits of the program are and what it can be for your business and how to get some more information, and talk to us directly about it if you think this is something that might suit your clinic space. The great thing is we have, you know, the online platform as well. So for those people who do want to do it virtually, we offer that option, which is fantastic. So yeah, get in touch with us. So thank you guys for all joining, and hopefully chat to you soon. All right.